Hello guys, Wahoo here, back with another video, this time around doing actually the Trove news. And when I mean Trove news, I am talking about the latest live stream that they had this Friday. There's a new one coming on Friday. If this has any success, like you guys like it by giving some likes, or you comment below that this is something you like me to do again, I will definitely do some more of these videos on what is going on in Trove from the live streams. And a very good resource from that, if you don't have the option to watch it, or you just you still want to read about it afterwards, you have this guy Zero. I was thinking about making these videos, but yesterday this guy actually was in my stream and he encouraged me to do this, so I'm giving it a try now, and I will go over the news for this week, because there is actually pretty much some juicy stuff in there. So shout out to Zero for all the work he does. He doesn't have a YouTube, he doesn't have a stream or anything. He does this all by himself, or by his own, what would you call it, like encouragement or anything like that. So I can't really shout him out more than this, but this thread here will be in the description, and he does it every time there's a live stream where there's something to talk about. You know, the Fasty live streams where he just does some PvP, there's not really any information. I don't think he makes them on them, but he has done this for more than a year. So again, shout out to Zero for doing this and making everybody's life a little bit easier, I would definitely say. So let's get into the news. That was all the shout outs and all sorts. So starting out, there is this Twitch partnership, the Prime thing, where you get the, it's actually the celebratory dragon. I call it celebratory, but it's this one right here. And you get the ally, that's a tanking ally, and also you get a bike, which is only in this pack. The celebratory dragon you could get back when they came online with Xbox and PlayStation and so on, but I'm not sure if it's gonna come back. So if you do have Prime, definitely check it out, and definitely get it if you want to. There's also a link to all the Twitch and Prime things and so on. For some time ago, some other games did Twitch drops, which basically had to be just in a streamer's stream, and then you would get some game things in game. And I have noticed, or I have sent an email to Tryon World saying, talking about this, and they were aware of this, and they wanted to do something in the future. With it, at least that's what they said. So hopefully we can get some of that and get you guys some more stuff, right? Free stuff is great. Anyways, going on to the Valentine's event coming. This is Tuesday. I'm recording this, so this is the next week Tuesday. I will also have, of course, a guide for that coming out on the channel as soon as I have done it as well. You get a amount out of it, and so more on that next week when the quest is kind of revealed. But it's a 10-step one, so it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be too terrible. We'll see that there's a new pack in the store coming. I don't know if it's there right now or it's going to be there very close, but I think it's coming first on that Tuesday, so I don't think you're going to see it yet. But if you're watching this video as of today, when I'm recording it, remember to go to the store. There's a free mount right there. Nothing to do with this, but there is a free mount in there, just a bonus little thing there. So that's just the events coming up. It's going to be great. Remember that we are having they are saying they're going to have the big update or a big content update in March. So let's see what comes out for that. That's where the Dracolite is reworked. They're talking about a new class and stuff like that. I'll get into that later on. So the first question is, any chance of increasing the amount of Flux Glim received from adventuring boxes? So you do get a little bit of Flux, a little bit of Glim when you open some of the adventure boxes. They're more or less useless compared to what we have now with the crystals and the artifacts. So, when you collect them, you get actually a decent amount. That's actually very, very good idea that they had. And as they are saying again, with the next update, they will be adding a new method to acquire these as adventure boxes are. So definitely not completely the same, but I think it's a good idea and a good step in the right direction. Next thing I would say about the Vulkan API, there's no plans for it. If you don't know what Vulkan API is, I will put a link to that in the description as well. And I'm not going to talk more about it. It's basically somehow games are rendered and so on. But I will put, if nobody knew what Vulkan was, maybe they will have a chance to do so. So next thing is I'm gonna skip some of them because some of them are more relevant, I feel like, than others. Again, you can check this one out if you want to read all about it in the description. You can just click that and you can read all the questions if you want to. One I think is really important is that can we get camera to remember players' preference? So when actually you go from well, anywhere basically, you have to scroll out again because it resets to like the middle part, I would say, if you middle settings, and then you normally will scroll out or you scroll in, right? And we normally scroll out to get a better view, right? So that would be great if we could get that to actually just keep being scrolled out and have it like that. That would be actually very great. Next, they are talking about the Starfire fragments. It's the most rare dragon I think you can get as of now. I've heard about people doing all their 1,800 runs of Shadow Towers, you know, for the batches and so on, and only getting one fragment. So they're talking about maybe some of the monsters doesn't drop Shadow Shards. Some of the mini bosses in there doesn't drop Shadow Shards. So people are thinking, since they're not dropping Shadow Shards, maybe they are dropping not dropping the fragments, you know, they don't count towards that. And they need to investigate it more, and I think that's a good idea. At least if they do or don't, I think at least the mini bosses that don't drop Shadow Shards should drop them also. About Starfire fragments and stuff like that, I'm not too much into it. All I know is that I saw a guide or a spreadsheet on how to make, you know, how long it's going to take you to get these dragons, and the Starfire is actually incredibly hard to get. So if you get one fragment, congrats you saved yourself around 800 hours of Shadow Towers, just with, of course, statistics. It's all random, right? All right, next thing they're talking about that I want to be on here. Well, there be a magic find limit, they ask. Sorry, no, there is not going to be a limit. So just, well, maybe in the future there will, but right now, don't worry about it. It's not something that is on their, what would you call it, horizon any time soon. Next thing is if there will be more uses for the Diamond Dragon Knight in the future, and they say they will add more materials and new recipes and stuff like that. So I think that's really great because Diamond Dragon Knight is really not a useless, of course, not a useless for new players and stuff like that, but people that do have, or I would say mid-tier players, endgame players and stuff like that, don't really have the biggest use of Diamond Dragon Knight because of also the augmentation that requires Dragon Knight is actually not very great at the moment. They're saying they're improving it in the new update coming to March, but well, yeah, that doesn't mean that Dragon Knight is going to be more influenced by that. So yeah. Next thing I think is absolutely amazing, and I think this is something they absolutely just need to do, is that dragon fragments now you can collect for 400 flux, and basically 400 flux is not that much for a fragment. I would rather see, as they also talking about here, is that it would loot collect into dragon coins instead. You know, a fragment is from a dragon, you would collect it into dragon coins, right? You know, it kind of makes sense to me to have that trade into that or loot collect into that. Also would help out a lot of people, you know, because when I was fishing the fish dragon, I fished about I think I fished like 1,500 fish that week. Not too much actually, but I actually got 11 fragments for the, you know, the water dragon, so which is actually amazing. And also, if you find dragons around the world and stuff like that, you would basically get those towards that dragon, and also it would help out newer players still hunt for those dragon. Even though you already had fragments for that dragon, the people will still hunt for it, which would help out more people. The more people that are hunting for the dragons, the more people will get fragments. And also, again, if that loot clinks into dragon coins, you know, you would have more dragon coins and so on. I don't think dragon coins should be tradable or anything like that. I don't think they should change it to that. I think it's just make more options to get more dragon coins. That would definitely be a good plan. So yeah. Let me see. Next thing is, yeah, they're talking about changing the enemy AI. I don't think that's really anything we should talk more about. I think they should focus first on the lag there's in the game. There's not, I don't feel it personally, not much lag. I just hear sometimes people talk about it. And people are talking mostly about adding more gameplay and stuff like that. I really feel like the way forward for the game is to fix lag first, and then we can focus on like all getting content and stuff like that, because you can add as much content as you want, but if people are not enjoying it because of some issues or some bugs or something like that, then people quit the game anyway. You know, you can't keep people playing if the game is not up to snuff, if you can say it like that. All right, that was a little bit of a different talk, because it was not really about lag, it was about AI. But oh yeah, any plans to add more boss modifications? So they're talking about, you know, having more bosses will have more abilities, and this is something I've talked about a lot on stream, is that we really want, you know, some more group play, or playing together. As you know, we talked about a healer in Trove. We talked about like the importance of a tank and DPS and coordination and like tactics and stuff like that. And you're probably laughing right now when I say, you know, raids and stuff like that. But it actually, I feel like it's really something that has benefited a lot of MMOs, having these raids where people have to work together, instead of it actually what it is now, where you just bring, you know, 7 gunslingers and 1 tank, and then you just do that. And that, I don't feel like that's really a tactic. We did see some great mechanics, some better mechanic, I would say, with Dreadnought and Hydra. You know, those are, you have to actually kind of have to change your gameplay a little bit. But in the end, it's basically the same thing. So I would love to see more of that and more complicated things. And something also been talked about on stream is that we talk about like Uber. Diablo has, I know it's a different game, but Diablo 3 has like these Uber things where they bring 2 bosses together. And I think that is like something that would be super awesome that maybe Trove could do. It's really easy kind of thing. I don't know, I'm not a developer, but I'm just bringing 2 bosses like the Hydra and the Dreadnought together, or Lord of the Moon, to change up the tactics, because suddenly you have 2 bosses to actually think about, you know, and that may create, you know, more gameplay or whatever. But we would love to see like bosses that are actually where you have to have some kind of tactic, to where you actually have to do some things and stuff like that. I don't know if it fits into Trove, but I think it's just, it will be a something that should be looked at, or at least discussed, right, between the developers. All right, and the next thing is, of course, the new class. So it's kind of down there. That's why it's not in the start. But we are getting a new class that said that it's going to be more DPS than the Gunslinger. I don't think it's right here, by the way. I don't think we need a class that has more DPS than the Gunslinger. It's fine that the Gunslinger is like the best DPS, right? But what I'm looking for is one that's more fun to play, that you would play like in dungeons maybe, or something like that, has some great, you know, gameplay or whatever. Like, for example, the Dino Tamer is awesome, right? With his dinos, that's some great gameplay you have there. But the dinos is just too weak, which really kind of, you know, is is quite annoying, to be honest. I would love to see like at least one of the dinos being like super tanky or something like that, and maybe the other ones are not as, of course, because they're probably the DPS or something like that, or make it something different, right? So what I'm looking for in a class is that it's fun to play and not really, the best DPS or have to push the gunslinger out of its way or anything like that. What I'm really just looking for is gameplay class and not DPS one. So that's kind of like that. It's coming also in the update, by the way, the big update they're talking about. So maybe this late. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry, the news may come provide. Oh yeah, okay. So it might be later this year. Let me see. Did I read that wrong? Formally balanced of all classes. Oh, they're saying there's like a formal balance pass for all classes and stuff like that. So we might not see the class. The next rework is of course the Dragonlight coming there in March. So next thing is currently weekly. Oh yeah, the current weekly bonuses thingy. We are getting a new starbar type and new tomes and stuff like and weekly bonuses and stuff like that. They've hinted a little bit at it in the past that we're gonna see like also like new players are actually gonna have like I think it's a 7-day streak or something like that, and then they in the end get a golden cash chest and stuff like that. So I think that's great to have something that kind of pumps people in the beginning. Really gives them that boost in the beginning, and then later when they're in the game and kind of likes it, and I kind of do the same thing where people that are new come into the stream, I try to give them the way how to get to fastest, get to 20 mastery, and give them the free class by referring me and stuff like that. Of course, I also tell them that if they do reference me, they can't do it to anybody else. So I kind of explain that, but also giving some free mounts that are in the game, that are just never-ending codes by like the salt mount by Pen, and also the hex flame carrier. Those are free, so they don't start out actually on these slow Sebastian and whatever, because they can be quite tedious. But so new weekly bonus, very exciting, yeah. They're talking about revisiting the Boomeranger. I don't think the Boomeranger really needs any kind of rework at all, but I would love to see one on the Tomb Raiser, because I feel like that also needs some more love compared to fun gameplay. Basically, it's not that it's weak; it just needs, I feel like, a little bit of a tweak to its benefits. All right, next thing is, of course, see about the XP bar for everything, all the other clubs you have. Let me see where was that. That was that one here. So you can only see the XP for your primary club. I would love to see the other thing. I don't think it's that hard to make. So hopefully we'll see that as well. Not really much more to say that, but it's something that actually should already be in the game. But yeah, it's not, and maybe it's coming. I don't know how hard that is to make. Oh yeah, they'll talk about the underwater thing. There we go. Underwater like content and underwater caves and new ores and stuff like that. They actually hint at they don't want to spoil too much, but they're talking about like underground. So we might be going like underground for the next update. That might be we have the jungle biome, where you have the canopy, where it's actually kind of feels like you're underground when you are in that area. Maybe we're going to see a biome like that's going to feel like underground or something like that. I would love to see a different type of biome, like where you have kind of like the Dragonfight peaks. There is some of them that has like a lot of underground. I would love to see that, where you actually also just make it bigger, where you have also dungeons underneath, like the Forbidden Spires are kind of scattered. It's not very dense in the dungeons, so you could kind of do the same thing with that. Just make them like up and down and stuff like that. I think that would be a great addition, and introduce maybe some different biome and some different environments. So This became kind of a long one, almost 20 minutes. Well, okay, but this was kind of the news and all my opinions and what I think was important. Like I said, these are all in the description, so if you want to read them again, make sure you do that. If you also like this, give it a like, share all that, subscribe, and also thank you guys so much for watching this. If you liked it, again, comment below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.